Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this little one-shot. I wouldn't say sponsored by Game Master Worlds, but we're doing this for the Discord Game Master Worlds, and I am here with four lovely players, one of which I've already seen in a previous such campaign. So starting at the top, could you please give us a brief introduction to who you are? You may use whatever name you wish to splatter out there on the internet, if at all, and present a little bit your character. Let's start with I'm gonna go with what I have here on the Discord. Let's go with the well, let's start with the professor. Let's go with that.
Hello, everyone. I'm David, based in the Netherlands, and today I'm gonna play Professor Lucius Hawthorne. He's a professor of dark magic, and he's quite old already, very well versed in sciences. And I'm here to rest tonight in the spa and the hotel that we are visiting.
Okay, let's move on to well, next time I'll actually have the names for of all the characters ready. Let's go for Junnen.
I'm Brasdelait. I'll be playing Junnen Blothandl, a hill dwarf, ancestral guardian, barbarian, who is an ale maker, who joins the guild that we are part of on quests for an excuse to travel and try foreign alcohols, as well as sell his own.
I love the idea that, you know what, I joined the army just to be the cantina.
Yep. I mean, fun fact, Junnen Blothandl apparently is the dwarvish translation for honeymead, so there you have it.
Fair enough.
As tasty as their namesake.
Let's move on to Callahan.
Hello and good evening. Hello. My name is Andreas. I occasionally go by BardicDesperation on the internet. I'm based in Brussels, and Callahan is our resident white-haired pretty boy with a past in the military and a totally legitimate past before that, who is trying to enjoy the fact that he survived the war and hopes to get an opportunity to spend his legitimately acquired goods and spoils without life getting in the way of it.
Okay, and last but not least, let me make sure that I get this Anput.
Yes, hi, my name is Ethan. I usually go by Demospy online. I am playing as a raptor called Anput Cobblefeathers. Pretty much no one really knows much about her because she can't speak common. It's really difficult for her. But she has translators on her side to speak sign language. So we've got to see how that one goes.
Yes, it is.
In combat, she is...
Go ahead.
In combat, she is a scout. She was employed for her service for her ability for pathfinding. She's a fantastic map maker and has an excellent mind for geography and the like. She's also partnered with the professor as well, so you'll see the two of them together quite often.
For those who would be interested in knowing what a raptor is, while the others I've taken pretty much your not so basic D&D, well, at least mainline D&D species. Anput is a raptor from the Humblewood setting. Don't ask how, don't ask why, we don't know yet. I'm sure that is something that will be discovered, maybe addressed, maybe, or ignored fully by the end of this little scenario. Speaking of adventure, we are going to be playing an adventure taken out of the Candlekeep Mysteries book, specifically The Price of Beauty. It is written by Mark Humes, famous of High Rollers. I highly recommend this adventure playing at home, especially if you have your adventurers level 5 that are in desperate need of a rest and you just want to trip them up, as I will be doing for these 4. So, is there anything else that we might want to add before we rush into the game?
I didn't see this, but was there a D&D Beyond link or a VTT link, or is this Theater of the Mind?
Oh, okay. Well,
'Cause if there was a link, I completely missed it.
Well, it is. Okay, folks, we're starting off on a strong. You know what? I'm going to be using my intermission panel. We'll be right back in 30 seconds. Right. Well, that was our first little bug of
Turns out I'm stupid. That's on me completely.
I'm a little stupid, same, honestly.
No worries. Right. So, as let's get started, shall we? Oh, no, actually, quick little shout out to, because we were doing this for Game Master Worlds, quick little shout out. If you are seeing this, please note in the description below there will be a link to either the pre-page or the front page of Game Master Worlds on Kickstarter. This is a Kickstarter. Well, I don't know how much I can say as we are recording. Just that it is encounters at a glance, a no prep. A series of no-prep scenarios for overland and oversea travel. So if you are one to amuse your players with a ready-made adventure written by, I was going to say brilliant minds, but I'll just say minds, as I would not want to include myself in the brilliant minds that are writing this, please have a look. If you are still in time for the pre-Kickstarter sign-ups, there are apparently dice that are there as a reward. So get your math rocks, get your click-clacks, and help us out, because it's been a real fun project I've been working on for months now. So, great. On that note, let's get started. Let's put a little music on, shall we? And here we go. It's been a rough week. I mean, in a way, it's been a rough month, a rough year, a rough however long. The war in Eberron has been going on for generations, but something happened and the war is now over. The saboteurs, the cultists, the whole last mission that you were on could have been avoided if the news had just come in 2 days earlier. But as part of morale, as part of thanks and reward, the 4 of you, as well as several others involved, have been basically given by High Command a rest, a much needed rest at the Restful Lily Spa Resort. Like I said to my players beforehand, we are playing in an Eberron-ish, right? We're taking a bit of lore from Eberron, we're taking a bit of lore from the Forgotten Realms, so if you have any issues with that, well, take it up with me in the comments. I might read them. The four of you find yourselves stepping out from a small portal. We're here away from the rail, the modern railway system that crisscrosses the countryside, to a region that is much closer to the Feywilds. Not necessarily geographically, but almost spiritually. As you step into the space, you find that the trees here and nature in general seems more alive, more vibrant. The color is almost saturated. There is a small path of rock that seems unlikely cleaned of moss and vegetation, walking up a low hill up to a structure. Let's see if I can. Before you stands the Temple of the Restful Lily, a temple dedicated to Sune, the goddess of love, of beauty, of most things shallow, but mostly of that of well-being. It is the tenets of Sune that a healthy mind can only exist in a healthy body. And both here are treated. As veterans with your own traumas and wounds, some sort of healing might be just beyond those doors. Let's start with describing the four that are stepping up the way. Callahan and Junnen heading up the front, Anput and Professor Hawthorne in the back. Let's start with Callahan. Could you please describe your character for us?
Callahan don't have the bearing or the appearance you'd expect from a veteran. Instead, if you look at him, you see someone young, maybe just over the cusp of adulthood, though from his slightly pointed ears, you might think that might be a little trickier to nail down for certain. Possible half-elven heritage, so perhaps a little older than he looks. White hair, unshaven, grey eyes, simple clothes, simple paddings of well-used and well-worn leathers, a satchel on his side, a long cloak. Clothes designed for comfort and practicality less than fashion, and designed to not be easily noticed. Looks like someone you would run into and overlook in a crowd. And he was looking around with an air between boredom and serenity.
Junnen, can you please describe us your character as you walk up to the doors?
Yeah, you see a typical dwarf, about 4 foot, wearing not traditional barbarian wear in the sense that he's half naked and stuff. Mostly just wearing robes and sort of craftsman's tools. You know, sleeves rolled up, an apron, sort of dark brown, got some stains on it. And sort of ginger hair, but some white has started to form on the beard. Just stoutly, happily walking up, looking forward to a well-earned rest.
As we move above your shoulder, as you're chatting to Callahan, trying to maybe get his attention on some subject while he basically ignores you, we move to Professor Hawthorne. Could you please describe us your character?
You see an old man coming, average height, human, but the age had its toll on him. White, messy hair, same beard, curious eyes. You see with a pair of glasses. He wears quite good quality clothes. So you know his background might be something higher. Yeah, that's about it. He uses a rod. His age, led him to the need to use a rod.
To use a cane? Yeah.
Yeah, indeed.
The words are silent as we do not see him move his lips, but he is in conversation with his hands, signing to what anyone else would see as his familiar, a small creature, just barely knee high. But we know better. We know that this is not a familiar. This is not a subclass feature, but indeed a character in their own right. Anput, could you please describe your character?
You would be mistaken for thinking that this is just a very short Aarakocra, but instead, this is an entirely different creature altogether from you could assume, a different world. Anput's feathers shine in the light. The pink-red feathers don't. It's like the cobalt blue at the end of her feather tips that do. Her tail is really long, kind of like that of like a fantasy velociraptor, if you'd ever seen like one like that. She kind of walks like one as well, even though she is humanoid shaped. She doesn't quite go all the way over. Her clothing is quite tight, like really dark browns and blues, and she's constantly wearing a hood and a mask as well. I didn't draw one in the artwork there, but she is constantly wearing one. She's currently cloaked herself over completely, so you can only truly see her hands, her talons on the ends of her feet, and a little bit of her tail that pokes out because it's just a little bit too long. Her beak as well, which shines a dark, and she's looking up to the professor, making little signs, and then every now and again checking out the local architecture and geography. The wildlife seems to be interesting her a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And just for everyone here, I'm just going to post this, just so they can get a sense of what she looks like. I did make her in Hero Forge.
Yeah.
Didn't know if we could show that or not.
Well, it's for us.
Yes.
I'll see if I can do something in post. As you, the big difference between, for those watching, the big difference between Aarakocra and Raptors are that Aarakocra do not have a set of wings in addition to their arms. Raptors are more, the arms and wings are one and the same. They would most likely be akin to Kenku in their, if you look at their features. But of course, very different, and of course the colors are completely different as well.
She's bright, she's colorful, and when she does spread her arms outright, you will see the wingspan, kind of like a flying squirrel.
Yes.
She her arms are completely exposed if she takes the cloak off. She'll never wear sleeves. It's kind of just not possible.
Okay. As you come up, you can see now this temple. In mostly, the outside is made of white stone, veined with pinks and golds, as if different types of marble have been fused together. There is something not necessarily unnatural, but there is an artificiality to this particular stone. This doesn't look like the kind of stone that you've seen around. But then again, with the Feywild so close, everything is up for discovery. Above the double, I was about to say double-breasted door, but the double door, we see a face, the symbol of Sune, a welcoming, smiling face of a woman with long hair that seems to almost frame the outsides of these double doors. Themselves carved out of luscious wood. And as you step forward, they open. The double doors open to the sound of a bell. Beyond the doors is a large lobby. Feel free to open, by the way, these and step in.
It's the map hack.
I will actually put you on the map. That is something that...
I can't wait.
There we go.
I want to see her. Where is she?
Yeah.
Yay!
This. And I should ping you here. There we go. Okay, make sure that you have control of your character.
Anput can move.
Yes, you can move and you can see. That is all that I ask that you be able to do. We will get to that later. Okay.
A problem. Junnen's vision is not blurry enough for the level of drunk he is.
Oh, he's one of those, isn't he? Okay.
You need to decrease
not currently.
your internet speed.
I can. There are ways to do that.
No, not right now.
Speed.
Although I would like, just for everyone to know that I did pick the Drunkard's Amulet as my uncommon magic item, so I do heal
You're
by
very
drinking
funny.
alcohol. Thank you. I try.
Fantastic.
Yes, we'll see about that.
Good dream.
No, we'll see about that. As I mentioned, the doors open onto a large lobby. The air is heavy with the scent of fresh lilies. A desk stands at the center of the room, holding neatly piled papers and fresh-cut lilies in a vase. A dark-haired, dark-skinned man in fine clothing stands up from behind the desk as he sees you. Welcome, friends, to the Restful Lily. Freshen yourselves in our luxurious bathhouse. Or perhaps you'd enjoy a massage? A haircut? A shave or pedicure? Oh, road-tired feet simply cry out for comfort. Whatever your pleasure, I am here to serve. So, sirs, do you have a reservation?
At this point, like hearing the person speak, I would like to activate my magical item. Anput will open her cloak up, and a small little necklace with a little fishy on it will appear, and she will cast tongues, so she can communicate and hear what people are speaking.
Well, it was established that you understand Common. It's just that it is difficult for you to speak it due to the nature of your otherworldly being. But you are fully capable of course, when we hear the voice, Anput, it's the voice of the amulet. So imagine, the the fantasy version of AI reading, text, text to voice.
AI text, but it's good.
Yeah.
Being used for good.
Ish.
I'll still activate it so Anput can be involved as well.
Okay. Please come in.
Kind of hides behind the professor a little bit.
Junnen, are you showing up? Are you following Ed?
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
No worries. No worries. By the way, little shout out. This map was actually, well, inspired by the map that is in the book, but completely made in Dungeon Alchemist. So, took a was fun. Yes. My name is Seth, and I am the front desk and facilitator to anything that you would need during your stay. You would be now booking a room, or do you have a reservation?
We're from the guild.
The guild. Oh, of course. One moment. He opens up a sort of there's a large tome. The tome is, it's gilded. It's a heavy tome, gilded, and you can see that there is a mirror set into the front of the book, the book's covering. It is delicately worked with gold or brass, and inside, as he turns the page, you can see that he brings a monocle up to his eye, and you can see that any script inside the book is a luscious royal blue in very crisp handwriting. Yes, we were expecting you, and I see that amenities have been requested. That has been set into place. May I just have your names, just to amend my records?
Anput.
Anput. Yes, I see you here. And I see that it has been requested that you share the lodgings of a Professor Hawthorne?
Yes, yes, that will be me.
Good. You will be set. Wait, I just need to get the hand out for me. Yes, you will be both set in room number 2. Do not worry, I will show you exactly where that is. Would that make the two of you Callahan Albuin? Am I saying that correctly?
Close enough. But yeah.
Of course. Feel free to correct me if I make a mistake. I would rather not compound the injury.
Not to worry. I've heard far worse. Callahan it is, yes. I believe I have a single.
Well, the amenities that were requested have set you up with Mr. Junnen Blothandl.
Oh.
However, should you wish a single, that can be arranged. I would just ask for. The guild have set you up according to their rates. Have promised to pay in all exclusive. We have received some monies up front, but should there be extra, that would come from your own pocket, I am afraid. Do you
Not
wish
to
a
worry.
single?
Not to worry.
Do you still
Question.
require a single? Yes?
You guys have a bar here, right?
All amenities, yes.
Then, my friend Callahan, you have nothing to worry about. I will pass out like a stone and shall not make a peep to disturb you. I'll be out cold if I'm enjoying myself.
No, stay warm. No cold.
I have nothing to worry about.
Amazing. Just let me know if you are a sensitive sleeper, if you'd like me to be back from the bar at a certain time so you may sleep. I'll make sure to get my liquor in before.
Please note that as a general as a general policy, the sisters do not believe in serving alcohol on these premises. But we will be sure to make do and keep you as comfortable as possible.
There are taverns outside.
I will get to that point in a moment.
Brilliant. I'll let you finish then.
All right. Well, I would require is if everything is in order with regards to the rooms, I would ask that you sign the ledger here presently, and I will then direct you to the facilities themselves. He turns the ledger. You find yourself. Basically, there is a list of names. You find your floor, and you also notice another name that you would know, which Alexandra Falco, another member of your group, but still very much in recovery and expected to arrive a few days later. Actually, if you wish, you may. Is there anybody who would like to peek at the ledger and sort of examine it, or do you just sign?
Oh, I was about to ask.
Okay.
We definitely would like to see.
As much as I would, as a player, like to, it's not something Junnen would do, so I'm just going to blindly sign.
Okay.
Anput is forever curious.
Not blindly sign. I'd be polite enough to let the others do it first, so by all means, go ahead.
Well then, any of you with a passive perception of 12 or above,
Yes.
do not need to make the roll. Any others, I would ask for you an investigation check. Passive passive investigation of 12. If you are under, you may roll.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Let me investigate that, because D&D Beyond seems to be doing its thing once more.
Oh, how so?
But I think I should be above 12 if memory serves. Let's see.
I can also check on my end. Callahan, you've got 14 on your passive perception, investigation, and insight. The professor has 17.
17.
Anput is a 15, and Junnen is a 10. So, therefore, I will. You know what? I will show this to you all currently. Well, hello, you.
Cat spotted. Cat spotted.
Yes, cat spotted. Yes.
There go cats in this pond.
Yeah, there you go, buddy.
Well, I didn't expect it to not move with the map at all. I moved the map and it didn't move.
I'm going to not read that.
Okay.
Just to
feel
keep
free
it
to.
character. I very much would be curious to, but just so I don't metagame, I will keep myself in the dark.
Right. Right. Very well. Once all of you have signed, he says, well, if you would follow me to the changing rooms behind. Nope, those are my snacks. Sorry about that. I'm usually more professional. If you would just follow me, the changing rooms are behind me. I will bring you a robe to your size, and the keys to your room. Please leave any of your effects there. They will be cleaned, restored, and brought to your rooms after as you settle in. I do not know if cashew nuts are good for kittens. I will not test that. There you go.
Probably smarter.
Anput didn't get your name.
Oh, apologies. My name is Seth,
Seth.
and you may call on me at any time.
Oh, okay.
If I am not here, I am usually around the grounds. Of course, I do require my sleep, but very little of it.
Okay. Do we have to undress?
You may, well, you are free to stay in your clothing, but all things considered, well, the robes here are comfy enough.
I'm purple tribe. I'm purple tribe.
Well, I will bring you the robe nonetheless, and let you decide.
Okay.
I would, however, before we go any further, I would amend one thing. This establishment prides on the security of it inside, of course, but being as we are close to the Feywilds, we would ask that you do not wander outside the premises, as we cannot guarantee your safety then. There should not be any troubles. It is just that it happens that sometimes things can be a bit blurry between worlds. Not that I do not believe, and he looks at your ostentatious weapons about you, not that I do not feel that you are capable of handling yourselves. It is just that I feel that as a policy we feel that we mustn't advise that we cannot be held responsible. And for that I do believe that we have a waiver. Would you please sign this? And basically hands each of you a sheet of paper with your names on it. And the waiver basically the waiver basically states that the Restful Lily is not responsible for any accidents, disfiguration, dismemberment, disappearances that would happen outside the walls of the temple. Do not worry.
Makes sense.
This was drafted by our lawyers, and of course, as all texts of this matter do not necessarily reflect reality.
That makes sense. If I get drunk, I don't need you guys responsible for that.
Yes, of course.
I'll just sign the paper.
Please. He indicates a corridor behind the lobby that runs between two rows of curtained cubicles, where you may change out of your clothes and armor. Each cubicle contains a wooden stool, two white robes hanging up on hooks of different sizes, and a large wooden trunk with a lock. You are made to understand that the key to the chest is the same to your room, and that this particular chest will be brought to your room at a later point, once the items inside have been cleaned and been restored. You can also see, as you step forward maybe into the corridor, a bit higher up, there is a set of double doors, but from it seeps almost a humidity, but that of the lily smell is a bit not stronger, but a bit more alive in a sense. Behind those doors, as Seth continues, you will find our bathing facilities. A large bath, heated, where you are to relax, exercise as you wish. Basically the indoor pool. He points to the door to the west, as that through that door you will find our gardens. I believe one of the three sisters, Zirsa, conducts their daily exercises to work the physical. Yes, in my haste to accompany, I would speak of the three founders. Let's see if I can't find that particular handout. And Price of Beauty, here we go. And I will find that. Here we go. Supplemental. Nope. Huh. Interesting. I will have to amend that. Well, actually, what you would see is just here to the side, right? There is a large portrait of 3 elven women. Let's see, here we go. The first one, dressed in sort of dark blues, is a slender moon elf with smooth black hair, an alluring voice, and who from what you focuses on the business of running the bathhouse. On the other side, Azrissa, an athletic sun elf with copper hair, wearing an ornate breastplate with a red fur mantle. You will see that she has a confident and jovial voice, and she promotes physical strength and good health. And lastly, sitting down in the middle of them on a plush chair with a great hound at her feet is Greensong, cheerful, rosy-cheeked wood elf, blind as with a dark ribbon around her eyes. At her feet, Morty, her guard dog. Well, I say guard dog. Her.
Guide dog?
Hmm?
Guide dog?
Yes, guide dog. I thought it was the word I was looking for. The 3, are the ones handling currently the estate. And I will find you that.
Trying to find a little token represent when Anput. Maybe like the there you go. Like the light bulb. Be like, Anput Anput can speak currently. Anput probably takes the longest inside of the changing room.
Okay.
Like if it was to cut inside, it'd be Anput trying just looking at her cloak. She still has it on, and then eventually, when everyone is out, finally she takes it off, grabs everything that's been given to her, leaves the case aside with all of her pieces in it. Oh, I didn't mean to ping everyone.
No worries.
Also, be careful when inside of the lockers. You can get your character token stuck.
Yeah, you gotta drag it in and out.
I just made a new one and deleted the old one.
I see. That's certainly one way to do it.
Yeah, that's what happens when the with the map and the
the grid's not aligned
the grid
correctly.
Yeah. I try.
It's fine.
Let's see. I can. Where are you? There you go.
Anput will be next to Hawthorne now in her. It's quite a beautiful robe now. It does have a hood. I've decided it has a hood.
Of course.
It's a bathrobe with a hood, of course. And she points to the picture on the wall. Oh, I can't select. I can't have the arrow over my.
Oh,
here we go. And she will point to that picture on the wall. She probably noticed it as soon as she walked in with her eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And she says in sign language, "It's a beautiful picture. What do you think?"
I just nod. Yes, I agree.
What are they talking about?
Family portrait
wow.
over there.
Yeah, we were observing the founders over here.
I don't know. Personally, I'm a bigger fan of dwarvish women.
Oh, Seth replies, "Oh, they are not the founders. No. They've taken over, but just about a year ago from the previous tenant of the temple. I've been trying to."
What happened, if I may ask?
Oh, nothing serious. No, an offer was made to the previous tenant, who was alone managing the facilities, and felt that a trio would better take care of the temple. Nothing nefarious at all.
I see. Well, they certainly seem a competent and inspiring bunch.
Oh, of course.
Can I make an insight check to see if there was truly nothing suspicious? I'm not drunk yet, so I'm still actually paying attention.
Sure. We may do that.
Single drop of alcohol reaches your tongue. That's it. Lights out.
Remind
You
me
want
how
me?
I
I'll be here
access my
tomorrow.
open character sheet. There we go. Oh wait, do I not have I not imported my character sheet? Or oh no, there it is. Okay, yep, there we go.
Let's see.
Junnen with a 14. No. There's nothing that seems to cry out foul play.
Okay. Well, if the elves are running it fine, then I won't complain. I'll leave my verdict for once I'm done. I try not to judge too much.
Thank you. Should once you are ready, please, I would invite you to the eastern door, where you will find the lounge.
Is that this door here?
Yes, that would be that door there.
Hmm.
The door to the top leads to the baths. The door to the left leads to the garden, and the one to the right leads further into the temple.
There's a door on the right, or is wait, is it down
Yeah,
the
here.
bottom? Oh,
That's
it's
above-
okay. I
at the
see.
bottom. There we go.
Yeah, okay, my bad.
I think Callahan would be the last one to change. Take off clothes, leave them in the chest. After a moment, take off like a small strapped belt of knives, or not put them away. Pick a light robe, like with ample range of motion, and just wrap it tight. Try not exposing too much skin. And joining the rest for the lounge experience, as it seems.
Oh, I've got my character stuck. I'm very good at that.
If you wish for me to move you into the I may do so. As you step into the lounge, you can, large cushioned chairs are set around around the open space. Calming music fills the air without having any general direction or starting point. It just seems to come off the walls in a way. The air itself still has that calming of light perfume, not strong enough to identify the flower, but just there to it's like stepping the same way you step into a church a couple of hours after mass, where you still have that incense that sort of permeates the place. This is the same kind. It would be, I would assimilate it to jasmine, orange water, rose water, that kind of sort of subtle scent that just so slightly calms the nerves. A bar takes up one corner of the room, alongside shelves of expensive wines and spirits and baskets of fresh fruit. So, well, I guess I had misread the adventure. There is something there for a dwarf.
Well, you can already see I put myself down at the bar.
I have. 2 tables stand along one wall, each set up as a manicure and pedicure station with nail files, clippers, and bottles of nail varnish. You also notice some of the guests present. 2 men seemingly playing dice. One of them seated back to the wall. You notice has a scar. Half of his face is heavily scarred. Somewhat the scar is still pink, of fresh recovery, even if the wound is no longer apparent, but it's an old scar, an old burn, so that pinkish sort of half face. He's very much wearing practical soldiery, sort of not necessarily uniform, but fatigues in a way. You do not recognize him, as he's most likely not of your unit. I mean, to be quite fair, you don't recognize his uniform at all as any that you would have fought alongside of. To his partner is wearing sort of clothing to the latest fashion of the bourgeoisie, very much nothing that would remark nobility, but the cut of it is rich. The style is exquisite, and but he seems, and I saw there was a very high insight for somebody. I think that did somebody get was I need to get. But he seems to be enjoying the silence of his play partner, while being himself in his own thoughts. At one of the pedicure stations, you see that one of the temple acolytes, in white robes, fairly similar to the bathrobes that you were wearing, the same sort of markings and silver thread, but this time, well, not plush, right? They all wear, including the one at the back of the bar, behind the bar, a veil around their face to just show the eyes. The veil just cutting right down to almost down to the eyebrows, and then starting at the bridge of the nose. This is not something to be. This is not something unexpected. Acolytes of Sune are usually chosen for their beauty, or are changed to subtly to become more beautiful. But acolytes are not to be shown. They are not to be seen. They are not to serve as reflections of a type of beauty, as it would inspire others to look to other standards than themselves. Here, the woman, very much in the same kind of clothing as, well, as we will soon discover, her husband, is chatting away, sort of in hushed tones, as the acolyte is basically giving her a manicure. Over her shoulder, at the center of the table, at the center of the room, you see a moon elf standing just above, looking to you as you enter the room in a greeting. This is Morgana.
Do I recognize that she looks very similar to one of the owners?
Well,
outside.
I would hope it's that you would be able to recognize her, as they paid very dearly for that portrait, so that they would be recognized. This is indeed one of the three sisters, one of the three owners. Ah, our new guests. Welcome. I trust Seth made everything clear, has answered any requests you might have had beforehand.
Yes.
Good.
Might have more questions later.
Please, if Seth is not available, please feel free to ask myself or any of my sisters if they are within sight. I would just, and she comes almost in a sort of whispered tone, is that I would just ask that you do not bother the acolytes. They have, as part of their service here at the temple, taken a vow of silence. And not bother.
Okay.
Idle chit-chat, of course, is disturbing to most, and would take away from their duties. Please feel free to sit here while you're preparing your rooms and your effects are cleaned and brought to them. If there's anything that I can help with, please let me know.
Thank you.
Anput has a question.
Please, yes.
Is I have magic to help speak.
Yeah.
Otherwise I use sign language. Is there another interpreter here other than the professor?
And she'll point to the professor when she says professor.
Well, I am myself fluent in sign language, so should I ever be around, please feel free to use me as such.
Anput will nod, and then very, very quickly, in sign language, she will sign, "Thank you."
You're very welcome. You do notice that her hands she's not signed it back to you. So maybe she's not proficient with the sign language, but she does understand it.
Okay. Other than that, Anput will a little shyly curl up on this chair here. Oh,
We'll just sit next to you.
Professor Hawthorne,
Yes.
do you know how long we'll be here for?
I believe we are here for 4 days.
For 4 days. Anput doesn't know what to do with herself. Usually, making maps and studying land is my job. I'm not sure what I'm doing here.
We are here to have some rest. You will need it very well. You deserve it.
looks down a little bit. She instinctively goes to look for a map case that is always by her side, then before realizing she's left it in the suitcase that we take into their room.
You, according to the register, anyways, you are here for the time that you wish, that you need to recover up to a month. So a 10-day is a week in this case. So a 10, yeah.
Well,
the Faerunian calendar is 10 days. 10 days for 2 weeks. So you're here for about 4 weeks, so about a month.
For as long as we need within the month.
Exactly. After any, it was made fully clear that any additional time will be on your own dime.
Okay.
And it is 5 gold a night. Not inexpensive, but considering the quality of this place,
Like, the money is very well worth it.
yes, very much so. But I mean, that's what
Anput's
happens
like-
when, you don't need to pay the staff because they're actually religious.
Fair enough.
Volunteer surfer.
Yes.
Anput's now.
Oh yeah,
just
it was written
having a
10
look around.
days. Oh, pardon
10
me.
days, yes,
Prisoners
no
of the
worries.
Droves.
I should have just said week, and then that would have been fine.
No, it's a nice phrase.
Hawthorne's been around Anput quite a lot. You can definitely tell there's a lot on her mind other than the fact that she doesn't have her equipment. She loves using her equipment a lot. She lives by the code, in that work isn't work unless it's fun. She loves doing her work. Now currently sitting at the chair, just looking at the table.
I think I know this pretty well, so I will keep you busy.
The lounge itself is also you can see actually just to your shoulder, Professor, is a fairly well stocked bookshelf on any number of subjects, and I would not say meticulously arranged. You might have a look and realizing, wait, this shouldn't be there, this shouldn't be there, this shouldn't be there. But the subjects go anywhere from histories to fantasy, to fiction, to there's a lot of self-help books, right? There's a lot of books about self-reflection, about improving one's self, whether physical or in mind, or there is literally a book is that how to make a friend in 10 easy lessons.
Is there any book that catches my eyes?
What are you
that
looking
I
for?
might have never? Something that's actually out of my comfort zone. So it's something that I never visited a spa before. So
I would be very tempted to. Yes, I will do so. As you see, there is a fairly. There's one particular book that you look at. It strikes you because it is a book that seems to be fairly used, as in quite often manipulated, right? As in to take in the top of the spine is already sort of rubbed a bit low, and as you maybe pull it, you find a. It's more of a paperback than hardcover, but on the top of it, you see a fairly muscular half-orc, sort of dipping what seems to be a young woman in very wet clothing. There's a background of a waterfall, and it says at the top, Tusk Love.
I get it. Real subtle.
Not coming.
wow.
Oh, by the way,
Bless.
if you have not seen it, I believe the Critical Role Twitter, the Exandria Artists Twitter, and Blue Sky had a whole series of fake romance novels for the 1st of April. Have a look; it's hilarious.
I gotta check that.
Okay.
And for the life of me, I couldn't remember one of them, or else I would have. I definitely would have.
I didn't know it was a Critical Role reference. I don't
Yeah,
watch
the Tusk
Oh,
Love is,
it is, yeah. It's a running gag that, like, every single time
That's
there's a
funny.
bookshelf, there's always going to be that one there.
Very popular book.
and apparently it's very racy.
Yeah.
Oh my.
From what I understand, it actually exists. Somebody actually wrote it somewhere.
It exists. Yo, your
And it's
bookshelf
got
isn't
the-
complete unless you got Tusk Love and Blood You're going to
Exactly.
I mean, we are in an R&R center. Let the people run wild with their fantasies and their
And their fantasies, yeah.
novels. Yeah.
And their fantasies. Yeah, Anput doesn't understand what that book is, so she's just looking over.
What would the
Okay,
fancy
without
equivalent of 50
bothering.
Shades of Grey be? You know what? Let's not ask questions we don't want the answer to.
Without bothering, I just start reading.
You know what? To answer your question there, Brasdelait, it would most likely be Volo's Guide to Mensa Berenzan.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
But yeah, so yes, Professor, as you start at the, how does one open a book? Do you open at the center to see what it's talking about, or do you start at the first page? Do you read, or do you do as some that I know do, is that open at the last page first?
No, I use a book how it shall be used.
Okay.
So in the very beginning.
As you sit down, you start reading through the book. It's a slow burn, so you won't get too colorful too soon. Junnen,
Build it up.
how about you? What are you up to? What bottle are you eyeing on?
Oh, no, it's, I mean, given what everyone else has been doing, whenever it cut back to me, I was going to say, at this point, it's not even a question of what bottle am I eyeing. I'm already got like a few glasses, I'm doing a tasting.
Okay.
And all the while sort of loudly comparing what I'm drinking to alcohols I previously made to what I'm sure is a very annoyed bartender.
Well, no, actually. As in,
Oh, interesting.
annoyed? No. The silent acolyte, again, you can only sort of see the eyes behind this sort of veil, will quite gladly pull down any bottle that you wish. Each of these are going to be. Let's put it this way. There's a moment where you start getting a bit frustrated because every time you ask, let me finish.
Right, yeah, go on.
Because every time that you ask to taste the bottle doesn't come alone. The acolyte mixes in the spirit with maybe another, with a bit of fruit juice, basically sort of in a mixologist kind of way, serves you a drink while you may just have wanted the whiskey straight up.
Well, I mean, if that happens after a while, I'm gonna. He hasn't been saying anything, has he?
No, not a word.
So the first thing that I'd like to sort of ask him is, usually when I go on these long tirades, just comparing alcohols and all that, no one usually lets me get this far. So I gotta ask, how come you're being so patient and hearing me out?
There's a moment where they basically put their hands to their chest, to the top of the chest, and you can just see that there is that medallion with the face of the goddess and the red hair around it. Now that you actually, maybe you weren't necessarily paying attention to it, but all of these acolytes do have around their neck. It would look like cameo, as in an ivory face and maybe sort of a coral red orange, a hair going around it, basically, to sort of framing the face in a way. And
would I know what this is, or do I need to make a religion check?
You could make a religion check at advantage because you would know that these are acolytes of Sune, as the temple is dedicated to her.
Right.
But let's have a look to see if you actually do realize that.
Remind me how to do advantage on D&D Beyond.
Just as long as you said roll twice, you are just going to roll, and in roll 20 we will see both results, and we'll take the highest one.
It does roll twice.
Simple. So in this case, it is a 18 and a 1. So,
Yin-yang rolls.
Good thing for that advantage, huh?
I guess. And you're the only one is the only one rolling. Well, let's make sure that doesn't stay for the rest of them this evening.
Would you like me to roll as well? Anput is very curious about everything currently happening.
Now, Anput,
What, a dwarf getting drunk?
I would actually say, Anput, you have no idea who Sune is. The fact that you were
That's fair.
in from another world would mean that I don't think I will have you rolled because there's no way you would understand.
That
you,
is
you
fine.
Would know these.
That is the face of a pretty woman on that
Exactly
amulet.
right. Yeah, I mean, you might
You can
want
definitely tell the features.
You could.
Just not what it's for.
Yeah, you could ask.
She could. We'll let this go first before I
Sure.
jump in.
So Junnen, as Junnen's maybe on his third cocktail at this point. How are you drinking? As in, are you just downing it in one gulp? Or maybe sort of, you said this was a tasting, right?
Yeah, I said I did say this was a tasting. The only reason I sort of said it in a slightly sarcastic tone was because I would have requested that my glasses be filled up more than tasting quantities.
Dwarven
I am
taste.
still actually trying to taste and compare them, because otherwise I'm not. Union's got no way to sort of. If he's gonna sort of smack talk whatever he's drinking to compare to his stuff, he's at the very least gonna make sure that he's not just doing it for the sake of bashing it. He's giving it a fair chance.
And I would ask, how do you think, on your third one, how do you think you would see things for now? Are you impressed? Or are you, this is not my style? Or you
that's
decide...
what was bring him
Go
up
ahead.
to the second question.
Okay.
Which is, so he doesn't respond to he just puts his hands there, that's his response. Has he said a word?
No.
No. I have no idea if you're allowed to talk or anything like that, but I gotta ask, this is my third drink now, and I can't help notice that you keep mixing things around and stuff, which is, I mean, you're making some nice drinks here, but I'm trying to compare the alcohol. And while, again, what you've handed me is nice, it doesn't give me a full flavor profile, because it's getting mixed in with other things. Now, maybe that's the way it's intended to be served, but you haven't said a word, so I ain't got a clue.
You actually get there's a soft hand, a sort of soft, well, not a soft hand, as in it is placed softly on your shoulder. And it says, here, as Morgana steps up and says, it is here our belief that that a person is a multitude of things, and we, through these cocktails and other means, of course, wish to show that a person can be multiple aspects in harmony rather than just one single trait. We encourage people to explore beyond a single tone or a single taste.
Okay, so it's intended to be served like this, then.
Absolutely. Are you finding it to your
Okay.
liking? Has he surprised you
very
yet?
nice. I mean, for a religious building, this is certainly some good stuff. Is it the best I've had, though? Not by a long shot. See, I make some very nice honey mead. I don't know if you drink, but I've got some with me if you'd like to take a small sample.
Oh,
Tell me what you think.
I think that Green Sun would love to try that. She turns towards the acolyte. I believe we have some of the Fey wine that our guest here would like to try. A special bottle that comes us from hives that are beyond the barrier. Let's put it that way. You will find the palate distinctive and very much surprising, I'm sure.
All right. In which case, if I get an empty glass, which I'm going to ask to the bartender, I'll pour out a bit of some of my honey mead that I keep in a flask on me. Pass it to the elf, Morgana, was that her name, I believe?
Yes,
Yep.
Morgana.
And taking once I get my sort of glass of wine, do a quick cheers. All right, my honey mead against your fancy otherworldly wine. And please don't hold back on the criticisms. I'd like to hear everything you've got. I'm trying to perfect this recipe.
Competition is the purview of my sister.
Oh, I'm not looking to compete. I just want to taste this product, and I just want to hear your thoughts. This is not a competition. I just want to give you my thoughts, and I want to hear yours. No competition. Like I said, I'm trying to perfect my recipe, so feedback is always welcome.
Of course. She sort of with long bluish fingers. Yes. Callahan. You're muted.
We can't hear you.
Would I be within hearing range of this?
I believe that Junnen is loud enough for that anybody would be in hearing range.
I had a feeling, yeah. No, I think I would very much be interested in witnessing that, because I think I'd have the feeling that you're about to be zooted beyond mortal comprehension.
Great word.
Well, I'll have to see once I make my constitution save, I'm sure.
Oh, dude, get zooted, idiot.
Yeah. There is an exchange.
Oh, fuck.
Let's see what story the dice tell.
Yes, yes.
I love story.
The acolyte brings out a bottle that is in itself. You can see in the light the lights have sort of come up as the sun has been getting lower outside. And just as he brings it around, you can see that the glass itself sort of changes hues slightly. It has that sort of iridescent quality to it. And as the liquid is poured into your glass, you notice that the bottle is actually transparent. That iridescent hue is actually a property of the liquid itself and not the bottle.
I'm gonna swirl it around just a bit.
As it moves, sort of coating the outside of the glass, there is a subtle hint of gold. I guess in wine tasting you would call that the tear, right? There's that sort of the viscous part of it. It is viscous, but it looks. I mean, I apologize for the non-appetizing. It looks like an oil slick. The scent of it, however, is definitely of honey, and it's thick, as in there is that scent of not mead, but what comes after distillation. So if you know Shushen, for example, so immediately this is not mead. This is something beyond it. This has been distilled. At least to your nose.
Your description just made me think of vegan meat because it's beyond.
In this case, anything beyond is going to be beyond the Feywilds, and it is not vegan.
Impossimead.
Impossimead.
Okay.
Just
he's gonna sort of admire it for a second. So, I mean, you said the ingredients were out of this world and stuff, but how long has this thing been aging for?
Oh, this is fairly pure. We usually dilute it in other cocktails for the flavor, but also for the visual effects to it. Now, you did ask to taste it pure, did you not?
Sorry, what?
You did ask to taste it pure.
Oh, absolutely.
Well then, to your health.
Cheers. He's gonna take a small sip to start with and let it sit on his tongue
Okay.
before swallowing.
So, here's the thing. As a dwarf, you have advantage on
I
any...
do, I was going to say.
Yeah. You do not. In this case, you
I do not. I do not, okay.
This is a straight constitution roll.
Alright, Constitution.
Callahan,
50 Constitution saving throw.
Callahan,
Anput
Anput?
is Anput has like snuck off the chair and is now like
Wow.
half hiding due
I
to
mean, the dice
Yo!
tell a story, right? So is that crit because you have an ungodly constitution, or because you're being very prudent?
No, because I'd say like once I've had I had a small sip to let it taste, but after that I would immediately follow it up with more. So I'm not being cautious at all.
Okay.
I had the intention from the start to down this thing, but I just wanted to look slightly classy while doing it because it is, you know, a gift that's been passed down that's not supposed to be handed this pure to customers. So I figured I should at least show some respect.
Well, I'll say that you don't get any of it in your beard, if that amounts to classy for Junnen.
Oh, they're a professional. They're a professional.
No,
of course,
I think there is something along the lines with that. Okay, there's something about the drink that is heady. There is a you feel your mouth completely coated, almost numbing the senses within the mouth and filling it with the sweetness of honey. But there is also something additional as to the honey. You start tasting the colors and the shifting of the colors themselves.
Interesting.
There is
Tastes like purple. Tastes like purple.
Tastes like purple. Shifting
favorite
into
color.
blues with a sparkle of gold. You know what?
Since
You know
blue,
what?
does it taste like a jazz orchestra on a Tuesday night?
Actually, here's the exact taste. It tastes like being brained by a gold brick wrapped in a slice of lemon.
Being what by a gold brick?
Being brained by a gold brick wrapped in a slice of lemon.
And what, is my brain full of paper cuts as well while I read it, seeing as we got lemon?
By the way, extra 2 experience points to anybody who gets that reference in the... I want to see that in the comments. Okay. And I want the exact spelling of the cocktail that does that.
Okay, now that you mentioned it, the only thing that I can possibly sort of think that comes up the top of my head is the Venture Bros, but I could be wrong. No.
There we go. Thank you.
Oh,
Oh. Someone got it.
Yes.
that is
yes.
a fantastic name. Do not read it
Um,
out. Let the chat figure
Right.
it out.
Yeah, absolutely. We are not going to get... I want to see that in the comments on the video.
Spoiler alert, it's not the Venture Bros.
It is not the Venture Brothers.
We'll be reading
looking
that,
at-
just not everything else.
Anyways, enough. Let's move on.
Yes.
No, it's something along the lines of there is a definite fey quality to it, right? Maybe the down to earth, the heady nature of your dwarvenism doesn't necessarily make it. In a way, you might be actually too down to earth to actually experience the full of it. There is a part of this
My
drink
constitution is too good to get, like, getting high is part of the experience.
maybe.
Well, too bad I'm built different.
Exactly. Yeah, too strong.
Yeah.
Too strong to get high.
Yeah.
I mean, a crit is an interesting.
Character.
Yeah.
I want to know what, like, so out of character. I'm imagining that if I was given this straight from the source, that this was like supposed to be some sort of practical joke on the elf's part.
No.
No.
There's a reason why you serve bitters by the drop and not by the bottle.
Yeah, well, they handed this to me fully knowing why. So I'm curious.
She
I'm
aims to
curious
service.
to the
She aims to please.
reaction. Okay, fair enough.
She
I'm
aims
curious
to
as to the
please.
reaction.
Yeah.
But Junnen is not obviously going to be looking for a reaction. He's just going to. I mean, I can certainly see why you'd mix it. It's a bit too overbearing, the taste by itself, and quite frankly, it's a bit too confusing. Out of curiosity, depending on the ingredients you were to mix it with, would that sort of highlight a certain one of this of the flavors of this constantly shifting drink? Because that would serve to be very useful. I'm just sort of getting that impression, maybe.
The wine is mostly used to, as you say, heighten senses, and emotion. In this particular way, I find it interesting that you would not fall under effects, and congratulate you for that. But
Was that supposed to be strong?
no.
Okay.
Well, it depends on where you see strength, I guess.
I see strength in terms of mentally and physically.
But do you see strength in subtlety?
Absolutely. As someone who's perfecting his honey mead, which I'll love to hear your thoughts about, I think all subtle notes are important in any sort of, whether it comes to a person's being, a piece of alcohol, a piece of food, or a drop of alcohol. The subtleties make all the difference.
Interesting. I have tasted, as you know, you can see that she has indeed tasted the mead. So it is, yes, very pleasant indeed. Not
Happy
to
to hear.
my particular tastes, but then again, that is not its purpose. It is not something to please everyone, is it?
Of course not. To each their own. But I'm happy you enjoy it. And should you ever want to stock this in your fine establishment, feel free to get a hold of me.
Ever a salesman. Well, as you
Everyone's
can
got to
see-
make a living, and this place ain't cheap.
Well, we will discuss this when you exit. Feel free to. No, we'll talk about this after you get some rest.
Oh, of course. No rush.
The four of you have just arrived. The meal is about to be served. Should you wish, we could hold the food until if you wish to visit your rooms. Your affairs should be now in order. Or you may stay and you may see to your effects after dinner.
And not sure what everyone else wants. I'll follow them.
During this entire interlude, did Junnen's antics attract any attention from the other patrons, or was
I think
this
so.
more like?
Yeah, there's definitely I think there's a smile on the old veteran. On the merchant, there's definitely a. You know what? Make me an insight check.
Sounds good. Let's see. Whoops.
Can't imagine too impressed. Pop it in and suddenly being loud.
Do you just have what's your insight bonus?
Wait, let me check something.
Oh, do you not
Give me-
have
give me-
beyond 20?
give me
Okay, well.
Give me a quick second. I think this might. Come on.
Wait.
I'm not sure mine was integrated. In terms of
Look,
my
that's
insight,
that would be a 16.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And I'll leave you I'll leave you with this before we go to a short break.
Mhm.
As you're looking through, so the veteran, you can see that his smile is one-faced, right? As in the scar tissue on the other side sort of holds his face in place. The merchant, however, he seems to. There's a glare that he's pushing towards. He seemed this whole thing. He doesn't seem to be amused by it. And as Morgana sort of turns, patting Junnen's shoulder, turns towards, up towards the north, towards his wife. There is. She passes along, has a slight touch on the woman's shoulder. They exchange sort of words in sort of half breath. There's a smile and a laugh on the young woman's face. Morgana sort of exits towards the north. You see the merchant's his face crumbles. There's almost it's not worry. It's sort of there's a sigh that is heavy there with almost sadness or something else. There's something there.
Duly noted.
Right. On that note, I would tell my players, go get something to drink, go get something to snack, move about the room as much as you can. I am going to take care of my cat who's been crying on the other side of that door.
And I've had an apple crumble that's sat outside the oven for a bit, so it is now the perfect time to get myself a piece.
Perfect. Absolutely. Right. And for those who are watching, thank you for taking this little journey with us, and we will see you very, very soon. Thank you.